Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Rav Yoseph Karo Approach to Halacha, and specifically it's year number 4 in the topic, and we're going to analyze some of the ramifications of Rav Ovadya Yosif's analysis of Rav Yoseph Karo's psak. In year number 3 we saw that according to Rav Ovadya, Rav Yoseph Karo was not bound by Rov, because Rov is only when you have all the Dayanim, the Poskim, the Gedolim, talking with each other, arguing it out, back and forth, and then there's a majority, one way or another. And that majority, that Rov, is major consequences, because that majority came after everyone heard each other's arguments and back and forth. Once that process is done, then and only then do you have the real mitzvah d'oraita of Rov. Otherwise, it's not the technical mitzvah Rabbi. You might have other reasons why you might want to take into account the majority of Poskim. Rav Ovadya Yosaif himself does it through his tshuvas. But it's not that he's bound by Rov. That's only when you have everyone together. To me, this is not only an answer to Rav Yoseph Karo's psak, how he deals with Rov, but it's a beautiful insight as well. That the real process of coming to Emet, coming to truth, is when the Rabbanim, or the people, whoever it is, whether it's involved in Halachik, Paskin, talking about the Rabbanim, or you talk about some other issue, and people argue and they hear each other out, and they share each other's opinions, and one puts his opinion on the floor, the other one challenges it, and he defends it. That process is an amazing process, and truthfully, any based in, any dayan. A dayan goes ahead and hears one side out, and tonight doesn't hear the other side. It's an issa from the Torah. You can't hear one Baal Din without the other. You need to have both in front of you. The dayan hears them both out, and he raises his issue that he lent him the money in this and that case. But you didn't. There were no Edom. There were Edom back and forth. There was this amount. There was that amount. And they hash it out, and assuming they're not charlatans, that they're not lawyers, that they're looking each one for emes. Assuming that, then that is a healthy process of arriving at emes. And that really has to be, in any case, a couple having some issues, Shalom Bayit, ideally they see someone, a therapist or whoever it be, is they're both together, ideally, with the rabbi, with the therapist. And once again, putting all the issues on the table, he raises his side, she raises her side, and they discuss it. Partners in business who are having a conflict, neighbors, whatever the case may be, parents and children. And if they could work it on their own, great. But if not, they need a mediator, and they need a third party, official mediator, whether it's a rabbi, a therapist, whatever it may be, this process of dialogue back and forth, where they each present, and then they have a chance to defend their position. Their position is challenged, and then back and forth. That is the most healthy process of evolving and coming and attempting to come to arriving at emes. So to me, this concept is not just a halacha of Rov, a technical point regarding the definition of Rov, which is in the Paskin, when you have Acharai Rabim L'hatot, when you have a majority of rabbis after they've gone through the process of the Shakla V'tarya back and forth. To me, this is the approach to emes in any area, in the area of conflict between husband and wife, partners, children. Anytime if they could work it out direct with dialogue between the two parties, great. And if not, and you need a third party to work it out, so you have all three there. You have the mediator, the objective outside party, and the two people going through the conflict, and they hash things out. That, to me, only through this process of dialogue can one really properly approach emes. Shalom.